This might be the end of the road for one of America's most high-profile and controversial immigration detention centers. The New York Times reports the Trump administration and Florida officials are in talks to close Alligator Alcatraz, the detention center in the Everglades that has reportedly cost the state hundreds of millions of dollars to operate since opening last summer. DHS officials tell the Times it may be too expensive to keep operating the center. President Trump toured the facility with then DHS Secretary Kristi Noem and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis back in July, so that gave you a peek inside. This facility has faced numerous legal challenges and has been called out for holding individuals in horrific conditions, which the state denies. Let's bring in one of the reporters on that story, Miami Bureau Chief for the New York Times, Patricia Mazzei. Thanks so much, Patricia, for being here. Before Alligator Alcatraz opened, we all remember these images, DHS posting an AI-generated shot here showing alligators wearing hats that say ICE with the caption "coming soon," really leaning into the nickname of that facility. So tell us how we got here with expenses becoming such a problem.
The center opened last summer, and it seemed to spring up practically overnight. The idea had come a few months earlier from the Florida Attorney General, James Othmeier, who used to be Governor DeSantis's chief of staff, in coordination with the Department of Homeland Security. It was built between Miami and Naples in a former what had been an old training airport, and required everything to be brought in. Generators, tents, sewage has to be trucked out every day because there's no existing infrastructure. And that immediately led to concerns about the environment and what was going to happen to the sensitive Everglades lands and to what the Miccosukee tribe that lives in the Everglades considers spiritual lands. But then came the concerns about the conditions that you mentioned inside the center. And all along, the center was just used in politics, to your point, to sort of sell merchandise and talk about how its remote location was going to deter people from wanting to be arrested, unauthorized immigrants from wanting to be arrested and sent there. However, that location is what made it so expensive. It was just not built for that. And over time, the costs added up. We saw some records at some point that were part of a lawsuit that showed the state initially thought it might cost $1.5 billion to operate it. Now, eventually, the bill that it sent, the Department of Homeland Security, was for $600 million, but it has not been paid, and it's been almost a year.
And you report that according to ICE data, as of last month, there are still roughly 1,400 detainees, all of them men. What more do we know about these folks? And if this facility closes, what happens?
About 2/3 of them, according to that census from ICE last month, were classified as non-criminal. We don't know where they would be sent. There have been flights, we don't know exactly the frequency, in and out of the center because it's got that airstrip, especially to detention centers in Louisiana and Texas that are often the final stop before deportations. They have not shared any plans of what would happen to those people. But remember, the state had said it had hoped to have up to 4,000 detainees at the facility. We don't know that it ever reached that capacity.
Interesting. Well, thank you so much for sharing your reporting with us and shining light. Patricia Mazzei, appreciate it.